Okay, let's, if I may, enlarge all this. Um, let's take a look at that next section. And again, we're just at the barely beginning, finishing up here, chapter one, and they're going to encourage us to start trying to think more like economists, which hopefully by the end of the course, certain ideas are going to stick with you, whether it be, buy local. I just heard yesterday that, our new president is encouraging this made in the USA thing, which was huge when I was a kid. In the 90s, President Clinton was constantly pushing buying stuff made in the USA. I was kind of surprised when that went away. I said, why? Um, but of course, we understand, the whole circular flow of money, or maybe you're going to remember things like opportunity costs or economic trade-offs. Um, Also, trade-offs aren't just economic; they're having to do with time and this type of thing. Um, and one thing they're going to encourage us to do is to start making graphs, start making charts, maybe make a list of our spendings. We can find out which categories we're spending the most money in, and then we can decide whether or not we think that that's worthy. We can do what's called a cost benefit analysis. And I'm going to go through a few examples of these cost benefit analyses. Again, I'm not going to ask you guys to do graphs in this class, but a real simple like spreadsheet type of program where you're inputting your earnings and then your spendings, and you can graph each category of your spending, try and figure out um, where you're spending your money and whether you think it's beneficial, right? Look, I have DirecTV and I have Netflix. Now this is off, okay? Because ever since the pandemic hit, um, my TV watching habits have changed. My daughter's TV watching habits have changed. Um, they watch way more TV because they're home all day. And so do I. Normally, right, I would leave the house at 7:30. I wouldn't get home till 4:30 with my daughters. There would be just a little bit of time there to do homework, to have dinner, to watch a little TV, wind down, maybe, that my oldest is really into video games. Now my youngest is into video games, and they're watching TV all day, other than during school time. And thank goodness for their teachers out there keeping them occupied for a few hours a day. But let's just go back to pre-pandemic level conversation. Cost benefit analysis. I pay about 130 bucks a month. I have direct TV. Okay. And of course I have it because I have to watch the Lakers. Couldn't go without it. All sports. I like to watch the Dodgers, although direct TV didn't carry them for a while. I like to watch, the Rams. I like to watch certain local news, and there are things I like to watch on TV, in the free time that I have, relax with the wife, or there's some comedy shows I'm into. And I probably spend about 100. I used to spend about 100 hours a month watching TV. So if you take that 130 and you divide it by 100, I'm paying about $1.30 an hour, which isn't bad use of my time. I mean, think about it. A movie is going to cost me 30 bucks, for me and my wife to spend 2 hours. So that's $15 an hour. You start making comparisons here and you're saying, oh, well, a buck 30, 130 bucks sounds like a lot, but $1.30 an hour, not so bad, right? And then my Netflix used to cost me 10 bucks a month, but I would very rarely watch it. I almost never watch Netflix. My daughters do, but they had kind of pulled away from it. And they were spending a lot more time watching TV. They were into like Gumball and Teen Titans. My youngest was into, little kid shows, Shimmer and Shine, and Ryan's Mystery Playdate. I don't know. Now, the truth be told, ever since the pandemic has come, they're back into spending time on Netflix. But for a while there, this was the situation. And although it looked like Netflix was a better deal because we didn't watch much of it, it turns out that it wasn't such a good deal. And again, all this has changed. But this is a cost benefit analysis. When you start trying to look at numbers and play with the numbers and how much time am I going to spend and is it worth it, right? Look, and they bring up here this idea. of looking at it in terms of time spent. Okay, cost benefit analysis. There was this day, I'm not gonna forget it. I was working at Universal Studios this summer after my senior year, right before I went to college, and I had gotten some good shifts, right? I was happy with how my work was going, and all of a sudden, I get a phone call from a buddy, and he says, "Hey, do you want to go to Six Flags with me and these two girls?" Right? And I was like, "Yeah, but I got work." And he goes, "In 20 years from now, in 40 years from now, are you going to remember working that day? Or are you going to remember the day of our senior summer um, that we got to take these two young ladies to Magic Mountain and have a really fun day?" He had a point. I don't remember much about individual days that I worked that summer. I worked a bunch of individual days. I didn't really enjoy it much. It wasn't fun, right? But I remember that day was a ton of fun. Um, so cost benefit analysis. Yeah, I could have made some money. I could have, but on this hand, I lost some money, but boy, the fun, right? So cost benefit analysis is more than just looking at the monthly breakdown or the hourly breakdown of my spending, or it's also things like time. How do I compare? I can watch the Laker game on one hand, which, by the way, LeBron James was incredible last night in his return to Cleveland. Or I can play with my little pup. Which am I going to remember? Well, I watch every Lakers game, right? And the pup's only going to be a pup for a short period of time. So in that case, maybe I should take that time and spend it with my pup or with my daughters. My youngest is still she's 6. She's at that age. Every minute I have with them is going to be probably more valuable than a minute I spend watching the Laker game. But that's a normal life. During the pandemic, I've spent the last 9 months every day with my children. I have enough time with them, and I have plenty of time with my little pup as well. So I think I'll watch a Laker game. But you guys get the idea, is that cost-benefit analysis also involves time. It's not just a matter of always looking at the financial side of things. And we talked about, starting small. One small thing at a time. Maybe what works for you is graphing your spending or doing an Excel sheet. Maybe that doesn't work for you, right? Maybe instead you just kind of want to start putting together a mental map of where you're headed. But we do encourage you start thinking about.
The Lakers talk.
You know what they say, right? A journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with one small step. And what step you take is what you're most comfortable with. But let's take that step and let's move in the direction of trying to better understand our economics, our personal economics. And oftentimes that's by understanding the big picture as well.